The dates of the meeting, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay, I have,
May 8th and June 2nd.
do you have the sheet that I sent you? This is the
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah. All right, so the special meeting would have been June 2nd, so the last board meeting would have been the 28th. All right, so can I get a motion to approve the minutes of May 28th, 2025 without revision?
I'll second.
Okay. Good. I have not seen the June 2nd minutes. Everybody else read them?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you satisfied with them? Okay. And can I get a motion to approve the June 2nd, 2025 meeting minutes without revision?
I'll second again.
Thank you. Oh, take a vote.
Yes.
All in favor of the 8-minute meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor of approving the June 2nd meeting minutes, say aye. Thank you. Reports, okay. President's reports. I don't have a lot really because we're going to be discussing so much else later in the meeting. I did want to let you know that, did I not bring it with me? We had a board meeting workshop a couple weeks ago where we identified like our top 5 items. And I want you to know that they're being tracked on the spreadsheet, and then I meet with a property manager to go over the status of them to make sure that we're making progress. And a lot of the progress that we're making, we're going to be discussing in today's meeting because we have proposals. But just as a reminder, the items were several items related to water intrusion, having to do with balcony repairs and spalling on the balconies and exterior cracks. Those are all going to be addressed shortly. The garage floor is one of the top items, and I'm guessing that will be updated by Kathleen, because you updating it, or just want me to say we have some proposals for materials that we can put down. We just need to measure what the square footage is of the materials so that we can estimate a cost. Hurricane plan, we're going to be talking about that today in our meeting. ELSS we're going to talk about later on. Plumbing we're going to talk about later on, and getting the stacks relined, the asphalt, and the only one that we're not talking about today is the pool deck, because we're still waiting for Phil Graham to get back to us with his plan. So just wanted to let you know that everything is being pushed forward on our top 5 big hit list. One of the things I did want to talk about briefly, not briefly and not talking about, but to tell you about is, here we go. Water intrusion, some of the water intrusion problems. Kathleen and I spent some time meeting with engineers this week, including an engineer who had done work in this area before. And what we basically found out is there are 4 or 5 different, we know that we have a water intrusion problem. We know that people are getting water in through their exterior walls. But we don't know necessarily that there is one exact source. So what we've identified is that there are up to 5 different sources of where this water is coming from. And I just wanted to tell you, well, I can either tell you or hand something out, depending upon how much patience we have for all the work we have to go through. Shall I go through it, or should we send this out later? We want to do water intrusion. I mean, state the main topic. Okay, so roof, one source of water intrusion is the roof, but our roof is in really great shape. We just had it recoded, so we're pretty certain that that's been addressed. One source of water intrusion is the balcony deterioration, and we talked about this with the engineer for quite a while. And he explained to us and showed us pictures of where exactly on the balcony the damage is. And how the water is getting in. It's moving over the large windows. So balcony deterioration is one possible source of water intrusion. And we have a proposal to address the biggest problems with the balconies, not a full balcony restoration at this point, but just the biggest problem for their balconies in our packet today to vote. And the third source of water intrusion is the possibility of cracks in the ephes. We don't know necessarily what we have in the way of cracks. The building is going to be painted in 2026. I just want to point out that that's 10 years from the last painting. And given our location, we should be painting maximally every 7 years. So it's very likely that we have siding, like small cracks that will be covered up by paint and small amounts of caulking. But I believe that if we haven't already, we're going to be getting proposals for painting to be addressed next year. And I know Kathleen also acquired some specialized binoculars, like.
And John is gonna help me because Luis has not had a chance to pick them up, so I kind of
Awesome.
twisted his arm to take a look at them.
Yes, I will.
Figure out how to use them, and then we can get going on that.
All right, so we're going to be doing an actual inspection with these funky binoculars that takes pictures to see if we can identify any really substantial ephes problems that need to be addressed now as opposed to smaller ones, which will just be addressed when the painting happens. The fourth potential source of water intrusion is broken or compromised window caulking and window seals, which could let water in around the edges of the window into the wall, which then drips down into the ceiling and wall below it. Again, we spoke with the engineer about that, and we got a proposal, which we'll discuss today, to look at the window caulking and any repairs that need to be done, and he's going to come up with a list of anything that needs to be caulked or replaced. And then the obvious other option is obviously pipe damage. If we have internal pipe damage, that could be leaking water as well. And we have some proposals to get camera inspections of the pipes, of some of the pipes, not all the pipes, right? The waste stacks.
The waste.
A lot
as
of
a-
waste stacks.
As a start to getting our pipes removed because they are 50 years old. Most of them. Anyway, so my main point really isn't all the details, it's just that we have a plan, we're working our plan, we're making forward progress, and it probably won't be cheap, but do the best we can to address the water intrusion problem. That is, I also had here HO6 assessment status, but we just threw that on there. Really, it's, do you want to talk about that, or should we talk about it together? Sure. I didn't want to steal it from you.
Oh, no, that's fine. So the HO6 assessment, just as a reminder, that's for anything that we can submit under our HO6 policy that was wind damage only, because that's the only thing insurance covers from the hurricanes. So we have done most of the repairs for what was wind damage in the hurricanes last year. The only piece we are still missing is the lighting out front here. So we'll be basically making an estimate and then coming out with that assessment. Right now it's looking approximately $1,500 a person. Once we get the electric work in there, it'll be a little bit more. And I think HO6 policies are typically $2,000. So we're trying to make sure everyone can get the maximum amount from their policy.
And it's a fixed deductible of $250.
Okay.
So, and we'll be voting on that for our next.
Yeah.
our next meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
That's neat. All right. So as of the end of May, our operating cash was about 373,000, reserve cash 829,000, and special assessment cash, which hasn't changed because we haven't been working on the ELSS project lately, is 556,000 approximately. The large expenses that went out the door in May was the last payment for the EPIS repair over there, part of that wind damage. That was $40,617.55. We made the final payment for the pool heaters. That was $65,793. And I'm really hoping we're done with garage door repairs. Kathleen's not looking at me.
I haven't had any complaints other than we've been reprogramming a lot of the openers, but that's no big deal.
We got our parts in, new parts for 2 of the doors, $6,801. So hopefully, again, the garage doors are good for a while. The audit is almost there. We did, but I got a draft. I sent it back to them because they missed a bunch of stuff. So I got a new draft, signed the management representation letter. And so I'm just waiting for the final draft and then we'll put it on the website and be done.
They didn't discover like missing $200,000 or anything.
No.
That's
Elevator stuff. We'll have to make sure we do something about that.
But that's not part of the audit.
Okay.
That's a giant,
Okay.
so I think it's okay to not be in the audit.
Okay.
But yes, I gave them some tips next year and as they're auditing CA.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll get their other ones right. But that is like,
300,000 in our operating budget, is that a lower than normal now?
yeah.
Is it a matter for concern?
Well, we need to figure out what we're doing because we have spent a lot of money on stuff that was unfunded, like the EFS repair. These pumps actually were funded.
But that's gonna come back once we get.
Right. So it's just a cash issue, like the cash goes out the door and we'll get it back once we figure out exactly how and when we are funding this. But yes, we need to, I don't know that we have anything super big starting right this second. But it's something that I need to look at closely just to make sure that we figure out how and when we're gonna get that cash back.
Do we have any large insurance costs, like insurance policies?
June or July?
No, August.
It's
Workers' comp is July and. Policies in August.
If there's one, maybe the wind mitigate, the wind,
It's August.
okay, and we can cover that, or are we finance?
We financed it this year, so finance it next year.
Okay. And then I know we got a bill from SLS recently, that should come out of the ELSS fund.
Yes.
Will come out of the.
Yeah, I need the GL code because I wanted to make sure I was doing that correctly.
Oh,
So
And then just out of curiosity, have we received an attorney's bill at all? Have we paid? Well, I mean.
yeah, we get a bill every
We get a
month.
Okay, that's okay. No, we had some problem with bills not being paid, like people would come back saying, hey, what happened? And then flip through the cracks, so I just wanted to make sure that the attorney bills were being paid.
yeah, and they're all up to date.
As far as I know. Yes. But the emails are continuing.
That's right.
To him.
Okay, all right, management report.
Okay, let's see, I was to cover the update on the seawall. We are still working on getting a meeting with Jack at Reuben Clarson's office, and I did speak to Katie today, who said I had to speak to Alexandra, who is Jack's assistant. And she was out of the office, so I will call again
Can we,
tomorrow.
like,
on
walk
that.
over there?
Is it close?
I don't know, but we've been trying to get them to
I know.
contact us for a month.
So now pool deck cracks, we have, I got 3 different proposals. The lowest one is 22,000 from Paver House. Now that happens to be a place that Gianna used to work. She worked there for 6 years.
Oh.
And he came out, he also said he'd like to bid if you decide to do pavers. And his bid was 22,000, and then Alpha Foundations, their bid was $47,926.16. LRE Foundation, $34,757.13. basically it's time and materials. And I had conversations with both of these companies, and I told them that I got the impression that they really weren't interested in the work because it's labor intensive and there's probably not a lot of room for profit there. So anyway, we were kind of back to square one. What Phil Graham had recommended is we get an engineer involved, and I could not find anything where the engineer had actually analyzed the cracks. I know that he had analyzed the voids.
But there's no reason why we can't ask him, right? Just call him up and say, hey, those cracks, what do we put over?
Well, I already know it's got to be a silicone-based product. So, I've had a couple of owners say, can't we just go buy some materials and do it ourselves? But then what is the committee going to recommend for over the cracks?
Well, it's kind of what Phil Graham is going to come up with for possible solutions also.
Okay, and then when we asked him, he steered us to engineers. So here we go.
Well, okay, so we have two engineers we can talk to. One is the one that did the grout injection. We can ask him what he recommends or who he recommends. And the second one is the seawall guy, because it's kind of related to the seawall. So the seawall guy might also have recommendations as to what we would do.
I think we should do Anticus, right?
We should ask them all.
The
I mean,
guy
the
who
fact
did
is, we
GPR.
Yeah,
Related to
Anticus.
the- Yeah.
So
I
is
think
that
that's
the engineer involved in the injections?
Yes.
Anticus?
So Shenandoah did the full.
Yeah, I found
injection.
that, but I couldn't
Engineer
find
was
anything about that.
Yeah.
if the crack are green or mania, you look at them today, but I couldn't say they've changed.
I have no idea. I mean, we certainly don't have anyone out there measuring them to make sure that they have grown. I would think that if they were growing, it'd be affecting the seawall. So that's why we need to get the stinking seawall gone.
Yeah, okay.
We have some.
That's gonna get a 2-star.
And so Anticus, and who was the other one? Oh, the seawall people. Yeah,
That's Ruben Clark's.
yeah.
Back to
Thank
them.
In my Rolodex.
Okay, now as far as the staff shirts, here's where we're at. We've got the artwork ready to go. I have the embroidery placed, ready to go. I'm the one holding that up because I have to physically go and pick out the shirts, and I always mean to try to leave work early and it doesn't happen, so I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow.
Cool.
It's hardly
So
the
we'll
most
see.
important thing.
I know, well, that's why I thought, okay, is this more important or is this more? That's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. Now, as far as the hurricane plan, I did redact the board members' phone numbers. We'll add the shutdown rule for the units. If you decide on elevator procedure other than what's stated in 718 or whatever we have in the hurricane plan now, that's fine. This is a document that we can change at any time. So, I had a hard date where I had to have something out on the website. So I put what we had with the redacted phone numbers. It takes 2 seconds for me to pull it down and put something else up. So whenever we have changes, we can do that. The other thing I wanted to report is the trees were trimmed. They worked really hard. I was watching them.
Get that one, or is that not our?
That's not ours. There are 2 in the back that are very tall, and they're kind of tall. They literally climbed some of these trees to cut.
Wow.
Because of their location. So I said, he called me. In fact, John was in the office today when he called. And I said, unless I get a lot of complaints, we'll just leave them, because it would involve getting a bucket truck and more expense and all that to get them, because they're so high. So anyway, so that you can mull that over. Another thing that I'm hoping will be positive and not turn into a confrontation is I'm going to meet with Louise and Penny tomorrow to hash out some of the tasks, because I have noticed one in particular that's not been done, and that is the stairwells. I don't think have been swept or cleaned. And neither one of them is gonna want to do it, so we'll have to figure out how we're gonna do that. I know at some of my other properties, I have hired outside help sometimes to get things caught up to where they should be. That would be another option. I could find out how much that would cost for somebody to come in and do a good cleaning on both stairwells, and then they'd have to take it over. I've actually had that particular job handled both either by housekeeping, janitorial, or the maintenance person. So anyway, that's,
Have a great meeting.
yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting meeting. That's gonna happen tomorrow. And my immediate supervisor was supposed to attend, and now she can't, and I don't know if she's not feeling well or if something came up. So I told her I'm not putting it off. I'm gonna have it tomorrow. We will report back after that. So,
Back up from us, just let us know.
well, if a board member wants to be there, I'm fine with that.
No, I don't, I'm sorry, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying we want to.
No, I mean, I'm serious.
Micromanage or
No.
anything.
I'm happy if somebody wants
just
to be
saying.
there, I'm fine with that. So I'm almost tempted to record it. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. That's all I have.
All right, no old business. I'm sorry, was there more? Do you have more?
Nope, that's all I
Okay.
have. Only that we need to set the dates for the pre-budget meeting and the budget meeting, because I have a hard date with CA for that too. We've got to get it on the calendar. You normally use your regular board meeting dates, and then if you want to have an extra workshop, you would schedule that.
I didn't understand what you meant by we don't use our normal board meetings for budgeting. We usually add additional budget meetings.
Oh, so you have 2 meetings in October?
Oh,
I'm
I
not
think we had
understanding.
like 3 budget
I
workshops
just-
last year.
It was a process. So what are you talking about for approving it? or actually
Yes, I
approving it?
have to have a hard date decided, date you're gonna approve it. So that'd be the October meeting,
Yeah, the
right?
meeting.
Okay.
I thought you meant like a workshop to work on it.
And then we normally have a pre-budget meeting where you decide what version is gonna go out to membership. So do you do that during either September or August meeting?
In the past, we've actually been involved in the budgeting. The property manager doesn't come up with the property manager's budget and then just pass it off to us, especially because there's so much tribal knowledge here and you're new. I think that might be helpful.
I don't. think
Oh,
that's what she said.
No, she's not.
That's what she said.
All I need to do is set the dates.
She
So
wants
if
the
you-
dates, not necessarily.
So for,
Yeah.
We should fix the issue. We need as much time as possible.
For sure.
So we should try and do it September if we can.
Yeah.
Get.
yeah, you need your workshops.
Oh,
You need your workshops in August and September. At your September board meeting, you need to decide the version that goes out to the membership. And then in October, you vote on the budget.
When you say which versions you think we'd have.
I thought we did it in November, actually.
Well, you guys are late. I mean, I looked at your meeting minutes from last year. You're way too late. Way too late.
Well,
Because
we've got that. We've got the time
Because,
now.
yeah, see, everybody was a little bit late last year because of this. So let's try to get back to where they're supposed to be this year, and then it's
Okay.
just a matter of sitting down earlier and starting your planning.
Let's go September.
So that's is it the 3rd Wednesday? Is that your day for your meetings?
Or
4th Wednesday? Okay. And then if you want to do extra workshops where, people can give their 2 cents what they want, that's fine.
well, I know at some point you're gonna sit down with right?
If we approve our rate, okay? Yeah, but Kathleen, you and I should sit down and talk through.
And
When we
would
want
you
it.
believe that's about the only company I've ever worked with? So
They're
I know them well.
Great, new business, proposed unit shutdown rule. So I understand that what went out to owners was missing one of the lines that we wanted to add to the rule. So do we want to have any I mean, we've already discussed this last month, so
Yeah, the line that was missed was turn off water heater at the circuit breaker.
yes,
So that would be the only change
correct. Okay,
compared to the one that was sent out.
so I'm assuming that because we had our discussion, we're ready to vote.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to approve the Pierce 100 unit shutdown rule?
I move.
To,
Oh,
I'm sorry, to include the omitted line, and then if you could put the omitted line in.
I'll motion.
And
All right.
Mr. Butterworth is making the motion.
Yep,
Second,
I'll second.
Jenny Brewster is seconding.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
is that the windows? So here.
it is warm here. Okay, the next thing on the new business is the elevator shut off for mandatory evacuations. I want to say this about that. It's been pointed out to us by someone that there is really no such thing as a mandatory evacuation because nobody can leave home. You can only say that it's.
Except that the county,
Mhm.
It's a class A, area to evacuate, but we own.
we are.
Yeah. Oh, no, we are. If we were renting, we'd have to leave, but because we own, we don't have to.
So here's where we stand. One of the owners has brought up that he's very pissed off that he's very unhappy that we want to shut off the elevator during hurricanes. And I gave him some information showing why it's healthy for the elevators to do that. And we should do it for the smallest amount of time possible. But I think what we need to do is check with our attorney to make sure that we're not violating any laws or constitutional rights or what have you, because we don't want to do that. So I have already sent an email off to the attorney asking him that. And I would like to propose that we postpone this discussion until next month, by which time we will hopefully have heard from the attorney. And then maybe the person who's unhappy about it can also show up and have his say in that discussion. All right.
Well, in fairness, we just got that email, was it last night or this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah. So let's just put that off until next. I don't have to vote over that. We're just gonna put it
No.
off until
that's fine.
July. Okay. Bill or Reinhardt window of proposals. I just want to reiterate what I said before, which is that we looked at all the different sources of water intrusion. And we decided that we want to go forward with three projects, two of which require some engineering to address balcony deterioration and how that's producing possible water intrusion into the building. And also window problems, let's just leave it at that, and how they may be producing or allowing water to intrude into the building. And so what we've got is we have two proposals from Bill or Reinhardt to vote on. The first one is the balcony roof. And what they're going to proposing to do is to put together what's called an engineering manual, which would be sent out for bid, and they would help us to pick a contractor if we wanted to actually do the repair work. What they're going to do is they're going to create the cookbook, so to speak. Anyway, you've got the proposals. Any comments or?
I have a question on the balcony one. So they're saying, however, for the construction phase, $11.50 per stack, assuming 10 stacks, but didn't we already redo 2 stacks?
We did do 2 stacks. Yeah.
So it moves to, it should be 8 stacks.
Well, okay, so this, there are two things, they're apples and oranges. there's a complete stack renovation, which is what they did last year. So 2 of the stacks are completely renovated and don't need work, presumably. And 8 of them need to be renovated. But he also understands that that's gonna be a big expense and we don't wanna pay for that right now, the entire renovation. So are you talking about, oh, I'm sorry, 1150, I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, so this is for 10 stacks.
Yes.
If 2 were just fully renovated,
Got it.
wouldn't have any repair work.
It's 11.5.
11.5, right? That's what I, that's,
You know,
that's why I was. Okay. Yeah, that's a very good question. See,
Surely, more repairs on the team just
you think so? Yeah, this pictures 1 and 2. Oh, I know, that's right. He had pictures and that. All right, well, we can certainly go back and ask him about that.
But isn't there a variance between how bad each stack is? Isn't there?
Yeah. They're different, each one has different problems in different places. They're,
So is it gonna get higher or could some of them be lower?
Well, this is just for them to come up with the plans, so
They're
they're
at the
coming up,
construction phase.
but that's for the management of the plan. The management of, and then inspect their work and that type of thing.
And I think what John's saying, in theory, they could do their limited review and come up with what needs to be fixed. And maybe miraculously, stack 4 doesn't have a single problem that needs to be fixed. So then in theory, the construction phase should include 1 less.
That's what you're saying, okay.
yeah,
So it kind of makes sense to. I mean, I don't know if we can approve it just worded with this much per stack.
Well, I really don't think you guys should, wait till next month. Let's try to see if you can. If you're okay doing this, or if you want to move forward, let's motion. Contingent on, and then
Yeah.
word whatever you need to
No.
word.
okay. Those are good questions on that.
Yeah.
I mean, given how much work probably needs to be done, it's. I think that $2,200 is gonna be a drop in the bucket, but I hope I'm proven wrong. All right, any other questions, comments?
So how are we gonna word this?
Let's figure out the wording and then open it up for questions and.
Well, there shouldn't be any question on the design phase.
Yeah,
I mean, that's basically coming up with the scope of what's needed to be done. Because this is what they're going to put together to put out to the companies to bid on.
mhm. So the first thing we need to do is ask them, is there in fact work in 10 companies? Because they did do balcony inspections last year. I can see that,
Get a bunch of. Many balconies were inspected.
Mhm.
In fact, sometime we did some more.
I think there are only 3 that weren't. inspected.
I think you're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, they priced it $11.50 per unit balcony, $11.50 per unit balcony, 10 balcony stacks. So that's how they came up with that number.
I mean, we can call them and ask them.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you say not to exceed, noting that there could be
They
a
may
couple
come
of
and
stacks?
sorry, damage that we're gonna have to go back and repair on 10 balconies. And
Yeah, but
they-
this isn't the repair. This
I'm
is,
sorry. we're gonna have
this is to oversee the construction.
Okay, so.
That's all they are gonna do is figure, okay, they're gonna finish this stack and this stack, I better get out there and inspect to make sure everything's okay. That's what you're approving. You're not approving the work per se. You're approving them to oversee the
Right.
project. Yeah,
So what I'm saying is that they may come back and say, based on our examination that we did a year and a half ago, you have some damage that will need to be repaired on all 10 stacks. In which case, we may have to inspect all 10 stacks.
so then it's
And
gonna
that
be
could
the
not be the-
11,500.
We don't know that. I mean,
But the inspection they did a year and a half ago was before they finished staff work. Right?
I don't know.
I think
Why don't we just say,
pending clarification.
or how about, why don't we say construction phase approved is $11.50 per unit balcony stack? Depending on how many balcony stacks need to be repaired. And then we can take it back to them and say, that's what we approved, if you want to send us an updated contract.
It's just delaying everything.
No, we're gonna approve it now. We just need to
Okay.
ask them, we really think the 2 stacks that were just fully restored.
It should be the 2 stacks.
Yeah.
2 stacks should be out of it unless they
8 stacks.
should be 8 stacks.
Unless they tell us that there's a work that wasn't touched.
No, they've got to prove why it's work.
It would be in the inspection reports. I'm saying.
Okay.
But we will approve
Yeah.
this, so once we get clarification, we can still sign the contract and.
Okay,
rock and roll.
so the third bullet should be up to
8 stacks.
$11.50 per stack, depending on the number of stacks.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be good. Okay, and so before you vote on this, you can open up the floor.
All right. Okay. Hi, Deb.
Hey.
Is there a motion on the floor then?
No,
No,
do we need a motion before we take questions?
I would.
no, before we take questions,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do.
All right. Anyway, what would you like to say? Or ask?
We're talking balconies, but we're talking staff, and I'm confused on the difference. Like, as you said, I was wondering, is the balcony inspection, we have that information.
Right.
To move forward, whether we're paying for it to get it redone, because it's a year and a half. And what's the difference between balcony and stacks? I know they're adjoined, but.
Well-
2 separate things in my mind.
No, a stack just refers to a stack of balconies, like all.
I'm just. Like,
Oh, God.
we
Yeah.
can talk staff.
I'm sorry.
That's my.
Like all the 4 units and all the 5 balconies.
Definitely. And we should be able to use that information from a year and a half ago.
Yes, and they reference it in here, yes. It says. They're going to start with the study that they did as the basis for their design book. And then they're going to do a survey to gather information, presumably looking for anything that majorly changed since the inspection. And then based on that information, they're gonna draw up the project manual. And I believe a copy of this document is out on the Sync site. If the proposal is out on the Sync site, the website, if you wanna go take a look at it. Yeah. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Blue flag.
Does it include them?
Yes, because they're written,
Well, that's what we have to find out.
because they still need 5 stacks.
Does the balcony leak, or you're saying you get water intrusion in the building?
In the building.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she was saying water coming from her electric wall.
Yeah,
I don't think we have,
That's great.
well, I don't think we have. The 5 and 6 completely one city.
they're not, right. Were you here when I went over the 5 possible sources of water intrusion? Were you here when I went over the 5 possible sources of water intrusion?
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, so the balconies are just one of 5 sources. And in order for us to be able to plug all the holes, we're going to have to look at all of the different problems and solve them individually.
So, look, all
Yes, but it's only gonna look at the balconies. This particular project, so of the areas that we talked about, the 2 that need engineering are looking at the windows and looking at the balconies. And this particular proposal is for them to put together a project to take care of balconies. And then they have a second proposal to take care of windows. They're 2 completely separate
well,
proposals.
all
Mhm.
yeah, rail post into the concrete, well, that didn't take care of it. So, what we really gotta know, it's gonna be leak. They do something and if it still leaks, they do something else, and where's it gonna end? And it costs more money to do these.
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee, I hear you, it's very frustrating, yeah. Well, I mean, they do know, they showed us pictures of where water was coming in. Balconies going down to the stories below, but they also showed us, pictures of the windows. And cracks in around the windows and the window caulking where water is also going in, it's not like they just kind of made it up, they actually did go out and do a preliminary inspection and took photos and showed us that these are problems. So it's just a matter of we're gonna have to address all of these problems one at a time until we get the stinking thing plugged up. And I don't know what else to say beyond that. I mean, there is no one shot solution to the water
Well, that
intrusion.
seemed to be what they thought.
I'm sorry?
Like they thought it was post-pool.
Well, it was, but that is no longer an option for those particular stacks.
They fixed it.
Do you have that?
Obviously,
Yeah. You're probably right, especially on those 2 stacks. Hopefully the window project will address these. And if not, then option 3.
Well, they swore. I think they just tried to make stuff up. The TYA.
All right,
Rick, we've got to say we've got 5 known sources. We need to work on all of them.
Yeah.
When they're done, we'll get. It's probably from a different source.
Okay, let's move on.
all right. Any other questions about this particular? Right. I would like a motion to approve the Biller balcony proposal with up to with construction phase services of $11.50 per stack. Dependent on the number of stacks needing repair. Thank you.
So moved.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Brian will second.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, yeah. All right. The second proposal is for the window examination. The project concerns window sealing and wet sealing. I don't know. Seal. I remember it was caulking and then there were actual like metal pieces that had big holes in them that showed us.
Yes.
Okay, at fixed window units located at each end of the unit tower stack sections. Due to evidence of previous moisture intrusion occurring at those window units. So they did look at some window units and saw that there was evidence of moisture intrusion. And there were clearly problems with the window seals and the metal pieces around the window. So they are going to produce a project manual so that we can hire contractors to come in and fix the windows. And the total for the design phase is $7,500. But the bidding and the construction phases are on an hourly basis, which is how the Valport project ran. Questions here?
We've got to do it.
Oh, God, you would, yeah. All right. Questions from the floor about the windows? No? Okay.
We won't know how bad it is until we start getting.
So we
it.
look. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the filler proposal for window repair?
I'll move.
Well, there are no numbers. I mean, there are no fixed numbers.
I'm
John. Can I have a second it?
yeah.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
I
Asphalt, John. Why don't you take this over?
Well, Kathleen's done all the work, so
Well, we have 3 proposals. The big challenge for the board is to decide if you're going to have more than one mobilization. A mobilization means that they come and they prepare everything, they do everything, and nobody drives for 2 days on the property.
We cannot do that
So, okay,
because.
No, not your question.
Okay.
Why is it 2 days? I put this in 24 hours.
because you need a day to prep
to
and do it. So now, if you want to pay for an extra mobilization, what we will figure out is they'll do 1/2 of the
Yeah.
driveway, and then we'll do, you know, one day will you do this coming and going, and then the other day, the other.
That won't work though, because when they do this half, it doesn't matter how much coming and going you can do on that end. You can't get out.
Well, we'd have to figure it out.
did it in 2 hours. I will actually say I would put it to the members. Let's get it over the paint over in 1 day.
Yeah.
No one drives in here.
Yeah.
1
Nobody
day.
can go out either.
No, so they leave.
They take their car.
Yeah. Well, no, we can talk to the city. Let's see. There is a parking lot at the top of the hill. Yeah, look, we get the pay. I will say we get the paint over in 1 day. It's done.
2 days though, right?
No.
To do it, no.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Yeah. They would be able to come back at the end of the second day. But
So the proposals are all phase 3185. Driveway maintenance 6195 and Rose paving 6200. Now granted, it looked like their scope was fairly similar, although one of them, it was the all phase, looks like they added more sand, like a couple pounds more sand.
I had a concern about the all phase. What are you missing?
No, I'm mumbling at my.
Okay.
Well,
My concern about the all phase is that Rose and DMI both were very explicit about the products that they were meeting and what relationships they met and all this kind of stuff. And all phase was just like, oh, we'll slap some stuff in your driveway.
yeah, I agree.
So
I have used them before. I don't, it was a while back. So I know
I'm sorry, it says.
I would hate to recommend going with the low bid just because it's low.
it's massively low. It's high.
Yeah. So
But-
yeah, 3185 versus 6200, that's a lot, that's a huge difference. And they all, it wasn't like he had the square footage incorrect, because as you see on the proposal, he clearly went on Google Earth and
Yeah,
then he confirmed with me, that it was the correct area. but I know they've been around for a long time, so.
Have you used them or do you know? anything
Yeah,
about
I've used them, but you know, well, I would remember if I wasn't, but here's the thing. Okay, if the seal coat was down, probably by the time a couple, 2, 3 years have gone by, I probably was at a different property.
Does
you
seal coat have
know.
to be done every so many years?
It has to be
Yeah.
done every 3 to 5 years, but it is the seal coat. It is protecting the top layer. It's not critical.
Okay,
So I'm not sure they can get it wrong.
okay, all right.
I don't know enough about seal coats, but it is basically just to seal in to stop the top
Yeah.
damage. So I don't see how it can be critical.
They all both say two coats of it, so they're
Yeah.
applying 2 coats, and they do say gem seal or equivalent, I don't know what gem seal is, but. It looks like it's. Oh, what?
So
Or driveway.
I did find, I worked with Rose, they were very good, but I have to say, I don't see it's critical, so I'm happy to go with the cheaper bit. The only thing is, I would like to take the pain in one day and close the place.
We're not putting that right now, are we?
No, we're not.
It would cost extra if we had to add a day, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Hold on.
Let's let the board discuss first and we'll open it up for questions.
Stay here. I don't have the first page.
The extra, it's 1,200 for an extra mobilization.
Sheet, it's all sheet.
Very good, by the way.
All right. Motion?
Well, there's one last thing to discuss, and that is once they put this coat down, they will repaint. And I mentioned about this is the time if we want to get extra wording, we can twist their arms. No, it's when we ask, do we want to put private property at the entrance?
It says restripe pavement markings as presently exist, so yeah, we'd have to see how much extra we could do without them getting one.
Basically, these arrows here, I persuaded
Yes.
them to put down for free. So, but that was after the care cause. It's better when we say you've got the job, but put us this down in the price.
I don't care if they're willing to do it for free, that'd be great.
Well, usually my maintenance has stenciled and just bought the paint and did this. I mean, anybody can do that. Pat could do that.
Put down.
Wait.
But do we need to have more discussion or are we?
No, I'm saying let's go for that. And let's see if we can get private property
Great.
on the entrance.
Yes, questions, sir.
I have probably that at black top, and there is a difference in the seal coat, what they use. It's high, but I know the difference in that. And also, if it's blocked off for 2 days, day and a half, what can you walk on? How are you going to get in and out of the building? How's pedestrians, people like us, get in and out of the building?
That's a really good question.
You will be able to get in and out. It will be able to be walked on. When we put because I did this blacktop, if you want to call it, before, and you could literally walk on it. The problem was people tried to drive cars on it, and in fact yes, and in fact, what was the craziest thing? They would follow the machine putting the damn tarmac down. So we always had to have people out there literally stopping people. It was a
Maybe.
yes. That's why I'm saying it's probably better to do it like that.
With boulders.
It's literally a battle to keep people out. I know Ronnie felt it as well.
Would you recognize different products in the proposals? Like if I showed the proposals, would you know one product from another? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, gem seal is what they're proposing or equivalent. Will be applied using a minimum of 5% latex additive and 4 to 6 pounds of sand per gallon.
What is? It's a bit of ultra sound. Yeah, answer.
That's, if they tell us something, how do we know? If they, I mean, so I say, what is gem seal?
Well, you can Google that.
Yeah.
So what you say?
And you use gem seal and if the product you say this paint is gonna be black. Light protected.
I'm still not qualified to evaluate. Yeah, to qualify products.
We put this top surface down in 2018. It should have been sealed within 3 years. So we've done pretty well with it already. It's got very little tearing, as you're talking about, or damage. Yep.
Somebody should be able to answer you.
I'm not sure it looks stupid, but I'm not understanding what. So okay, so let's say you're the company and I say, okay, you're gonna put gem seal down. Years.
I think we should try and get John Marks. That's what he does for a living. That's who John Marks is an owner here. He does. He's not. I don't think he's here at the moment. Is he? Oh, yes, I will.
This is. Ollie, hold on a second. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does, but it's just checking practically how they work. It disappeared to be okay in my mind, but we need to do the guarantees.
Yeah. Right. Okay. You have a question, didn't you?
Yes. This might be the opportunity for the skating.
Yeah.
So the cars coming in, I will actually get some volunteers. I've done the research, I'll pick the materials, and I just want to do the range.
That is in front of Jeff. Yeah. So.
Or you.
Okay.
But I'd be happy to get some volunteers, and this is an opportunity that I'll actually do it and pay. To get it.
If it's any consolation to you, we have researched some products to be used. And we were asked, well, what we were told is never mind, I'm getting completely off the topic. Didn't you just kick me in the table?
The fact is, it may be a good window.
Yeah.
It's a separate subject.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what are we gonna do about this?
If you want to hold it off, I'll
Check with them and
Yeah.
just make sure that-
Unless you want to approve it subject to discussion about the products, otherwise it's another month. I mean, are you okay waiting another month?
I personally would like to approve it subject
What are we doing?
that we go with all
Phase.
full phase dependent on security checks.
That's not, can you make it more specific? What do you mean security checks?
I.e., I'll check with, for example, when we had a choice of depth on this, and I asked him, and in the end, that's why we went for 1/2 inch rather than 1 inch, because we didn't need it.
Okay. So.
And you can see in 5 years, we've done product approval, okay? with
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the all phase?
Well, as it's my head, I'll
Well, and I would include in the motion, if we're gonna do it in one mobilization, get that in the.
yes.
in the-
Not. Oh, that's right. So we're looking at one mobilization then, because otherwise it's more expensive.
Right.
All right, so can I get approval for the all-phase paving proposal contingent on, let me know when you catch up, Brian,
I got contingent
on product approval by our resident expert,
Yeah,
evidence to be provided, so you can just have them write a note or something.
yeah.
Okay.
And one mobilization.
In one mobilization. I'm sorry, let me pause here. Ollie had a question.
No, he was talking about using AI. We have used that, but
Okay.
it's well worth getting an expert. I mean, that's what I did with John before, but it's been rather rushed around here at the moment.
Okay.
But
All right.
as you can see, what we have down is, considering it's not been properly sealed, is done remarkably well.
So can I get a motion to approve the all-phase proposal? Contingent.
product approval by resident expert to be conducted. with One mobilization.
Yes,
Who's going to be?
I'm moving.
I second. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's really cool. We have like 3,000 or 2,000 extra dollars in the reserves for this. What? Oh, that's, no, it's not, because we're full reserves.
Yeah.
Okay,
But yes, the original budget did have 5,000.
all right. E, asbestos engineer and project management. I'd like to say something before we vote on this, because I think I can simplify this. I hope. So, first of all, we have, I think, 5 proposals from people proposing to do some combination of project management and asbestos engineer. However, we also have on the table AirQuest, and they are the asbestos engineers who came back to us and said, you should have your asbestos retested using this blah, blah, blah method.
Point count lab analysis.
Thank you. Point count lab analysis method, which is much more accurate than the method that was used when you did your initial asbestos testing.
So that means they reviewed our initial test.
They reviewed our initial testing and they saw that a lot of it was listed as 2%. What they said is that 2% doesn't necessarily mean that it's 2%. It can be some range of 2% that isn't detectable by the initial type of testing. So we suggest that you do more detailed testing, because it may be that nothing changes, but it may be that for the cost of the testing, you can reduce the amount of asbestos remediation that you want to do. And given the cost of the asbestos remediation, which I have seen so far, it is insanely high. And I think that we want to take every possible measure to reduce it. So with that said, I want to say one thing about the proposal, the AirQuest proposal. Oh, and my point is that if we approve the retesting, I think we should hold off until we get the results so that we know what the scope of our asbestos project is going to be. Wouldn't it be great if we didn't need an asbestos engineer? Let's keep our fingers and toes crossed.
It always sounded very questionable because it's only on seams, it's 2%.
Yeah,
It's so anything we can do
Yeah.
to get out of this.
I agree. So one thing I wanted to point out about cost, just to be clear. There's a fixed fee of $9,200 and $9,250 for them to go around and poke the holes in and get the samples and send them off to the lab. And the lab is going to analyze them and send them back with results. And what they propose is that any result that comes back as over 0, but under 2%, we then turn around and send to the lab for the PLM, the point, whatever it is, the special type of analysis.
Point count.
Point count lab analysis. And every one that we do is gonna cost us an additional $1 or $25 just to ask them to test it. And I'm sorry, no, additional $65, additional 65. So he said that they're gonna be doing 300 samples, but he pointed out something which I thought was interesting. It's really only 200 samples because of the results that we have, they're gonna have to test that tape, coming out tape,
Drywall.
the drywall tape, thank you. And when they poke through the drywall tape, they get drywall tape and then they also get the drywall itself.
So
So,
the compound, the tape is sticking to the,
yes,
yeah.
but to the lab that receives it, it looks like 2 samples, but it's really only 1. So that's why they say they're doing up to 300 samples, because a bunch of them will be these double samples. But they're not gonna send, there's no 300 samples to have tested at $65 a piece. The most that could possibly be done would be 200. Because they're not gonna test the drywall, because they already know that that's 0.
Yeah.
So the maximum amount is 200 times 65, which is another 12,000 something.
It's less than 20, that's what 300 is.
Yes, thank you. Okay, it's like another 12,000. And if for some reason they do the 300 and they go, hey, you know, we want to see a few more over in this area, whatever, those are going to be 25 additional. So it's not, I'm almost hoping that we do a lot of this point count analysis, and because that will give us more hope that we can reduce remediation.
So the worst case scenario is that we spend over 20,000 and we end up having to do the exact same remediation.
So,
So, yeah, so a chance to not.
I think it's a very good.
I mean, if you're
Yes.
this could save this building.
Yeah. I don't wanna have us get excited and then really disappointed, but. Yeah,
There's a glimmer of hope.
there's a glimmer of hope.
Glimmer of
All right,
hope.
yes, sir.
Why do they test the tape? The tape comes from a different area, because China was predicting about asbestos in it. Why don't they just do the drywall?
Because we already have test results that show that there's asbestos in the tape or in the tape compound.
We've already asked that question. Why have we got damn tape? Yeah, but it seems we've got to find a way of getting this tiny score that little bit tinily lower.
Yeah, I was just saying, a problem B to be, and it's comes to the tape is, instead of, we can peel the tape off pretty easily.
We could shoot all the people who did the original tests and start again.
We could do a hazmat suit.
Okay, all right, so are there any questions or discussion on this that you? I see, okay, any more questions out in the,
We all know it's a damn. See what we can do to get through it.
can I have a motion to approve the AirQuest testing proposal? Funding to come from the ELSS reserves. I would believe, part of the ELSS, I would think so, but no.
That's special assessment.
We mean,
We did not.
ELSS is a special assessment.
we covered, we collected funds for the ELSS project, of which this is part. No? It's being paid for one way or the other.
Yes, it is. Any asbestos work, we're gonna have to find more money somewhere, because all the money in the ELSS project is for the current contracts are in place for the ELSS that has nothing to do with asbestos.
We can scratch that part out. Want to sit, read it back?
Okay,
Money to be taken from Ronnie's bank account.
I got nothing left after this. You kidding me? Okay. Your
Quest, environmental. Environmental.
testing proposal,
Yeah,
no food from whatever. And Mr. Butterworth moved, correct?
Correct.
I will second.
all in favor? Aye.
Oh, sorry.
So my proposal for now is that we just leave all of the asbestos engineer and project manager proposals off to the side until we find out what I'm dealing with. Okay.
I'll let Pat choose the spots he does.
Jesus.
Overseen.
Pipelining proposals. Catherine, did you want to say something? I mean, we got them.
Yes, we have Blue Works and PRS. I have not worked with Blue Works. I know they do a lot of work in the Tampa Bay area. The building I just came from, they camera lined and cleaned and lined all of the sanitary stacks. So
You said
I'm on a
Blue
first name basis with PRS. However, just for their initial coming and doing camera work, they were like double the price. So that doesn't make any sense to me because either one of them is totally capable of doing the testing.
I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to go back to, I can't get into it because it's in my computer, I'll get it out, what we did before
Oh, okay.
and who it was. I thought
It was Blue Works.
It was, but I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
it was Blue Works.
It
Blue,
disappeared?
no, Blue Works did a very good job.
Oh, okay. There was some. There was some. Disappeared.
See, they both came to the property, both pulled out the plumbing plans, looked at all the plumbing plans, and then prepared the proposals.
Well, if Kathleen says it was Blue Works, I thought it was.
I know it was because they told me.
Yeah, so fine. Did you ask them if they still got the old records?
Well, it's too much time's gone by. They want to do new camera work.
All right. Well,
So you've got the two proposals. 2 days, they estimate up to 2 days. Blue Works came in at 2486 and PRS came in at 4300.
I have a question, and please excuse me because I had the proposals and now I can't find one of them. Didn't one of them extend the camera work further, like into the?
Oh, it's my question.
If further camera work needs to be done underneath the slab, that was an additional charge.
The Blue work says the stacks, and then it just says through the underground main. But then the other one has it separated the stacks, and then a whole separate thing says that they'll do underground sanitary lines and laterals. It's directed by the customer. So does through the underground main mean the same thing as underground lines and laterals? Or is PRS offering a lot more camera work than Blue Works is?
Well, no, there's two separate things here for PRS.
Right.
Yeah. So let me check the Blue Works.
Yeah, so this one is just the
Vertical,
verticals,
yeah.
but then it has a lot more detail. on What is?
Yeah, see the the Blue Works says additional underground cleaning may be required, but that's the cleaning. That's not the camera. Okay. Full inspection. Let's see. From the roof penetrations through the underground main. Yeah, that's through the underground main.
They're taking
That's what
the-
it says.
That same thing, I just. The one was more specific.
It's like we're. Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so it looks to me like they're doing more work than PRS.
I do have a question though about them, because they include. Under scope of work, they include cleaning if applicable and structural restoration if applicable. I don't see any costs associated with them.
Well, that, yeah, we're just doing the camera
But
now
are they
to see.
go?
Yeah, so then we'll be getting proposals for what they propose should be done, and then we
Okay.
would start with the sanitary lines first. So then the next proposal would be for the cleaning and lining.
So if applicable just means if we happen to include it in this proposal, but it's not in this proposal. They're not gonna do clean
This is-
and.
No, this is just camera work. Yes.
Let's see how bad they are.
So then it looks like. They give us different options of how many days of camera work we're gonna do.
Right, so in
And
other
how many
words, that
times?
wouldn't give us a full inspection.
So what are we doing the inspection for?
I'm not positive, but when they're doing the inspection of one particular room, you can't be flushing your toilet that day.
I asked them about that and they
Okay.
said, you know, they can get around it, but that's best if we,
If
if they can get enough, they can get enough of us a read without shutting everything down, because I specifically asked them that.
It's a bit like looking the outside the building. You know how critical or how bad one of the stacks is. And you can then estimate from others. It may be that they're in good condition. So we may not have to do too many stacks, but of course we could end up doing them all. So this is a test to see how bad stacks are. We need to do it.
Do we think that it'll be vastly different from one stack to another, or are we estimating that it's gonna be more or less the same across the?
We don't, it's probably the same across them.
And we're gonna do all of the stacks?
The lateral sanitary lines, the main
we
ones, the
doing-
main stack.
Because basically, the horizontal ones belong to the members. We're not doing
No,
those.
but I'm asking because on project pricing, they have full inspection, inspect 31, half day inspection, inspect 15. Quarter day, basically inspect 7 with different pricing.
Right,
Just say for selected piping, so that's our question, are they really gonna look at every single stack, or are they taking
Yes,
a
if-
sample of like?
if you get the full one that I listed on your sheet here, that would be the price to inspect all of the laterals.
Wait, okay,
Basically, what happens is, edges, the pipes are corroding, so bits of metal are coming off and they catch debris that's going
And the
down.
worst, I will tell you, the worst thing are sanitary wipes. And even if you buy products that say they're flushable, you have old pipes, they
Yeah.
are the kiss of death.
okay, so then
So-
we're looking at doing the full inspection.
We have, basically with the water system, we have to work backwards. So you do the waste first and go to the supply last, because the pressure increases. And if you do the supply first, you're gonna have leaks coming everywhere.
Ick. Thank you for that picture.
And,
Okay,
and we then talk about how we line them when we do need to line them.
so that'll tell us, like, do we have to do it next year? Can we wait 5 years?
Like,
Hopefully. Okay, all right. Can I get a motion to approve the, are we going to the Blue Works proposal?
I would suggest we do.
Yeah. Full inspection, for a full inspection.
and then let's make sure there aren't any other questions or comments
Thank you.
before you vote.
Thank you. Any questions or comments about your waste tax? No?
And can you hold your counsel?
They have been fixed, so
Yeah,
hopefully in their scope, they can say, here's your 3 top that you gotta do right away, and then.
yeah.
Just so that maybe we don't need to all. Do so many this year, so many next year, No, you could.
Yeah, the building that I,
It's bad as it was.
Somebody said that some of the pipes had been lined, but I don't know.
They-
Pipes-
Some of them have because they're visible and can be accessed. So,
Okay.
no,
This meeting last time, that there was a kid. It was terrible. I think she was on the second floor or something, she was good. So,
Okay. All right.
yes.
Oh, yes, sir.
About 2 years ago,
Oh, I'm sorry.
because of the backup. The plumber dug up the hallway to look at the pipes. He said, I wouldn't use a second valve. So use it very limited.
Wow.
Because that running out there is totally clogged. They should be sleeved immediately.
All right.
We are going to have to do it. We know we're going to have to do it. We need to get started.
So, motion, right?
I don't
Oh,
think,
no, it's like- All right.
Motion to approve Blue Works to do a full camera inspection.
Yep.
In the amount of $2,486.
To be paid tomorrow.
I would say vertical waste lines or main stacks or something.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm the impression that I've been told that maybe that was an April thing, we have to say what account is being paid. Maybe that's just for things stuff and whatever. All right, good. So I have a motion to approve the Blue Works proposal to do a full inspection for $2,486.
I so move.
Thank you. I second it. Thank you.
so
Hold on. All in favor?
Aye.
main pipe is clogged also, is that part of the total?
It's the main part, yes.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
And then it's looking at how we line them.
Need to see me tomorrow morning to get these signed.
Pipeline proposals, steps for unit balconies on promenade level. Scott Winter was so kind as to go out and actually get 3 quotes to add steps, so.
Firstly, I never knew this was a problem. It was total.
Yeah. Was that just talk about it?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the issue with the units that walk out onto the promenade deck is that when we redid the promenade deck, we selected pavers, or maybe it was the material underneath, that are several inches shorter than what we had before. So now there is a giant step down from those unit patios onto the promenade deck. I've managed to injure myself already. And it is also now out of compliance with the building code. So we had gotten, well, not we, Scott had gotten proposals to get just one step put in at each egress. And these are the quotes for it, which are, of course, more than anyone wants to pay, but seriously. But these are all, and Scott, jump in if I'm saying any of this wrong. I think all of these proposals are proposing a concrete step, drilling just like 3 or 4 inches into the balcony slab for rebar to, you know, form the structure. They say it won't structurally damage our balconies.
Okay.
And we are on the ground floor, so balconies collapse. And I forgot what else I was gonna say about that. Oh, and then we would just retile it using our extra pavers that will match the promenade. I know, we have a use for them. So that is what these quotes are.
Okay. Something I just recognized Okay, so we have one quote for 5,000, although it says here ballpark price 18 to 22.
Yeah, so actually these guys, they said they will do, like, the engineer will put together specs for you and they will, yes. They're the
Their
ones that
engineer
want
or our?
theirs. They have an engineer, they want a permit, I guess. And they will do that for 5,000. They won't do the construction. They're estimating the construction would be 18 to 22. The other two quotes say no permit is needed. This is a very simple thing, just to put in one concrete step.
Mm-hmm.
And so those quotes are 17,250 and 20,450. Which the lower guy apparently had a bunch of reviews about after they do the work, and they're completely unresponsive if you have any issues. So I think the recommendation from Scott, who talked to all these contractors, was
So, okay, first of all, super impressed he did this, thank you. It was really, really awesome. But my next reaction was like, what, $20,000 to put in 10 steps? That's absurd. Like, can't we just go to Home Depot and buy a
bring it in. Nice. It doesn't look.
well, Pat, I'm asking you, because you're a press. Yeah. No, but the people on the 12th floor might read.
Now, is there something, will that start a leak?
That's a bad idea.
Not gonna open.
All they need to do is go 3 to 4 inches, be a video. And then they're gonna copy it and read over that. So, I mean, I know it's scary because they're saying it's going into the concrete, we don't, the valve we use for guard valve. But I don't think this is rocket science. If you look at the pricing, they're all fair. I think we're gonna find someone that's lower.
Just gave us 2 people that use.
There's 3.
He would only do the engineering for 5,000, but his ballpark estimate was
18 to 22.
They wouldn't tell us how much it would cost, they gave us a bulk between 22 and 28, and that's with the 5,000. How to build one step, I don't think we need an engineer to build one step. I think they were and probably, and they do high-end large things, like that,
Yeah.
an appointment. And they told me we're probably gonna high bid you, because it's not worth our time.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that one.
Handyman, like a handyman, but for a form
Yeah.
and put down.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I've got- We're talking about construction here. I've got some other questions.
Okay,
as you know.
It's the board meeting. Quiet, please.
As you know, but we're literally talking about it's lower because of pavers. We've got tons of pavers. Can't literally pavers be stacked up to make it a reasonable height? But because they're pavers, you concrete them down, they're not going to move. But we've got to do some work before then. Firstly, we are taking. I agree. I buy in that we have a safety issue and we've got to find a way of doing it. The safety issue is obviously going to have to be answered by making the surface as it was before or higher.
Yep.
Whether it's a step or the surface, or we seal up those exits, but we don't know if we can seal them up.
According to the building code, you cannot
What-
remove an egress. that
Well,
is
they're
already
not,
there.
they're not there on any other, but we need to do this fully and openly.
Mhm.
Because we've got the crazy situation, it affects 4 units, of 3 of which
No,
are,
5 units.
no,
But
where's the 5th one?
it's the west, that's the.
No, that's, the
Choice.
west one is
It has-
1 unit.
It has one that comes down.
So it's not 5 units, it's 4 units.
There's per unit.
But there's only one step for that, indeed.
There's only one step for each unit has
No.
2 steps. One step is here.
There's 4 units.
No.
Where's thick?
There's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
307 on the end.
Yes, 307.
Facing the balcony. Yeah.
No, I went and had a look this morning. So there's only
3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
3, 4, 5,
6. Which is Bob, where Bob lives,
6.
and then 7's the corner unit.
Okay. But 3 of those units are board members. So
We
we've,
should have gold plated stuff.
no, you've got to actually be totally, we need to get legal advice on this to make sure, because you're then going to potentially take an area of, which is shared, what's the word? Thank you, I just forgot, you know, how it goes out for that second. We're taking common area and making it restricted common area.
Necessarily.
Well, I think it's got to.
Well, there's a bigger thing that can the board members vote for something like this that is specifically for their unit?
Can we just?
And I didn't even realize that because I don't know where you guys live.
Let's just do more research to see if we can find.
Yes.
Yeah. This is Betty.
Wait,
So,
we didn't open up the floor
I
yet.
would, I did, okay, excellent, I'll be right there. I can't vote for this for too many reasons. One is because I live there and it would affect my unit, but 2, I just think the cost is. I believe what you said, that these are all like high, big reputable companies. I believe that they gave us prices that were good for them, but I'm sure that I'm hoping that there are better. Yeah, probably not off the street either.
Legitimate license.
Oh, yeah. License and insurance.
I don't like putting. For me. I don't.
No, we've had 1 week. Sorry, 1 week.
Back into and next meeting.
No, let's go to the attorney. We need to go to the attorney.
Because I apologize, I wasn't aware that.
You've got to go to the current number of factors. One, it is changing it is not a common area, or he's got to. It will become a restricted common area.
It's not, it's part of it.
So I can walk on that step. No.
It's outside of our fence, my property ends where that fence is.
It has to be.
Hold on, you.
It's safety.
I would like our attorney. Yes, safety. I agree.
You can't say no.
I'm sorry, I can say no because I need attorney's opinion.
What's the attorney gonna say? Yes.
I need to know, well, we
Well,
don't.
how are you gonna vote on it if it affects 3 board members?
Yeah, what's the question? What, here, okay. If
If
you
it
won't put
wasn't-
you on the spot here, but if you could craft.
We're gonna fix it, we just
Question is-
gotta.
I will.
That you want the attorney to answer on, we will absolutely get him to respond.
Okay.
Absolutely, no problem with that, I just don't understand, I don't know, I need to tell me. Totally fine. All right, Pat, what would you? Yeah,
That's what I said. Pat,
That's just what it.
I said.
It would be 3 inches high.
That's all like.
I think,
The map of the height.
I
So
don't,
these.
I thought what you said had it was like 9, 10, because that's what it used to be before.
Well, where are the
Okay.
pavers? Let's get a sample. Built.
Okay, we'll make it fit.
How about you and Pat on getting some pavers? Get it ready and the board will come and take a look at it and debate.
Just the idea of that.
Treating them be sufficient.
No, well, that's the thing. You gotta- if you're- Move together.
Yeah.
It'll make sure that. Well.
Why don't we just mock this up while we?
So we're gonna put this aside for now, but we have to do. You're gonna talk to Kyle, you take it to.
I'll take it. Yes, where he worked for 6 years. He was just out here the other day, super guy.
Well, awesome. All right, and now, so she's gonna talk to a child. If we can produce steps. John's gonna send me the question that he wants the attorney to answer. Which introduce.
Do you want to help with that, Ronnie? What
do you call it? We're pushing it down the road.
No, we're not. We're taking advice.
We're working on it, but we're not voting on it. Yes. So you're gonna give me the question. She's gonna talk to the tile guy to see if it can be done with tiles. I mean, doesn't Home Depot sell like?
They sell big things. They sell ones that are like this big.
I would be. Why don't we mock up one? And propose?
We could do a couple different styles.
Feel them?
They have 3,000.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, might be able to. There, then just happens.
That's smart. If it's the right,
Right, but just, I think that's. Mobile. Rental, parts.
internet big.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be to that to the.
Making questions. We're getting the legal advice on doing this.
Okay, all right, moving on. For a tile person, to be honest.
I'll talk to Paver House. It's called Paver House. Yep. I'll get Ricardo over here.
About either paving a bunch of pavers or getting a block and putting pavers on that.
He might even know of a product.
I still don't understand why we can't just use those pavers stacked up that we have.
We might be able to.
Because we're not using them.
Moving on. We have a proposal from JCP Lock to replace the digital fob reader on the kayak door. Which side?
The one that goes to the grill area.
Yeah. Okay.
I checked it today.
That's probably.
By the way, this guy's awesome. He spent a lot of time with me. He got me into the old computer and showed me, we found the program and found everything. And I'm,
Great. Any
super guy.
computer expert on living, get it backed up.
Well, Gianna and I were working on trying to move some stuff from that computer to her laptop. So that's good.
Would it still?
That's just a sidebar.
So I'm 284079 from JCP Lock and Security Company to replace the broken fob reader on the kayak door. How do you get in and out right now?
You don't.
Okay. All right. It does need to be replaced. All right.
Yeah, and this has been broken, I should say, since the storms, I guess. Is what I was told.
No. Yes.
Not an objection. I'm just curious. Do you know what the safety and security committee is doing or thinking? Are they just looking at cameras or were they?
We have no idea.
Anyone? Okay, then never mind. Okay.
And probably.
Yeah.
It will be a dumb fob.
It will be what?
A dumb fob. They're not linked.
No, this would be tied in all the things that we do.
Yeah, but you can't control it from a computer. You have to.
Maybe you could. Yeah, so he'll make sure that all the existing files.
Okay.
Can we vote?
No, we've got to do it, so.
I have a motion to approve the JCP Lock proposal to replace the fob on the,
It'd be the access control hardware.
now I have to start all over again.
No, just to replace the access not the fob, the access control hardware.
Can I get a motion to approve the JCP lock proposal to replace the access control hardware on the kayak room?
I so move.
Thank you.
South facing.
Can I get a second?
So.
I'll second.
Thank you.
How much?
Yeah. How much longer are we gonna be? Oh,
$40.
John did. All right. All in favor? July 4th plans. The vote?
No, it's just an update, so I have the 3-ring binder with every unit's, room for every unit. So all you need to do is complete your form. If you need to add people at a later date, taking it up to the 3rd, John, is that right? And then we have prepaid for the off-duty policeman to be at the gate. A reminder that you do need to have a parking pass if you park here, or now if they're coming and going, do they have to prove who they are or have a sticker?
Well,
So the easiest thing to do is to have a sticker or a parking pass, I guess.
basically, the policeman will be on the door. They will have the binder, which will have your guests in it, and the person who is in charge. But they will also have a directory. So if you're not having any guests, you don't need to fill in a form. You just tell them which unit you are, and they will tick it off and let you in.
And then make sure that your guests know what unit you're in. Because if they come to the gate and they don't know your unit, like you just maybe meet them outside or something, it'll hold things up. And then the other thing we need to organize is the trash collection. So I'm told that after next Monday, when the recycle bins are emptied, they're hidden and not used so that you can use them for regular trash.
Look, half and half. We'll put 2 bins together right round the pool and the grill area. So there'll be one for trash, one for recycle. Yeah. Oh, no, we did. They were out there. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, however they decide to do
Yeah,
it,
they will.
hopefully they'll be labeled so people know. And then the only thing I have a question about is who's responsible for getting all of that together and put someplace after July 4th?
Well,
Cause that's Friday, right?
I'll be down the next day to help
Okay.
Carol up. And if I could do with volunteers to help.
Yeah, so, okay, so do you want to put out a little
Yeah, I will
request
do.
for that?
Yeah.
Remind me and we'll do that.
The only other, basically, those trash cans are big enough to cope with everybody on the pool deck and in the grill area. So we don't normally need to empty them, refill them, but if anyone wants to help, please do. It's our home. And so if you see anyone with glass, you need to immediately tell them it's got to go. It's our biggest problem of visitors coming with glass.
So if you see something, say something.
Yes,
Speak up.
yeah, and please make sure if someone's parked at the front here, if you can ever get a space, because it's full from first thing in the morning, they must have a parking pass, because we're not going to chase, we're going to turn.
Do we have those stickers in the office? Like I need one.
Yes. You gotta prove to me you live here.
Yes.
I can speak. I
Yeah.
doesn't live here.
Yeah, I've given out.
Working. It would say only resident park here.
Yes, but if there's a space, I mean,
You got blue or.
Yeah, blue or the yellow or the sticker.
Well, we say blue, get blue.
Yeah.
Well, you said visitors can park here.
There'll be no vendors here on 4th of July.
Rick's been thinking visitors. In the end, it's going to be a first come, first served. No, yes, it didn't say that, but I'm not going to tow a visitor who is legitimately here if they're here that early. Okay, well, fine. Yes, they're probably, I'll tell you, I'll almost guarantee to you that there won't be any visitors out there because everybody pulls their cars out the garage and goes there to let visitors go inside. I know, because that's what it, okay, fine. It was to keep it short to one page. It's my fault.
I still want to thank you for taking this on.
Right. Right, he'll be an hour earlier than normal because he's leading. In the end, it's all about the fireworks. Once the fireworks go off, no one wants to come in. So he will be here from 2 to 10. Yeah, they'll as long as you fill in the form, they'll have no problem. They'll just chip them off the form and they can come in. Of course, because of parking, they'll need to find, and there's going to be about 250,000 people in the park. So parking is going to be a challenge. Yeah. But
Uber is your friend, maybe, if you book it now.
But it's a wonderful place to be for July the 4th, especially if you're on the north side. I'm selling tickets for my units if anybody wants to come in. But no, the door will be open. Yeah. No. And there's to be no. The only other problem I'll be telling the police this year is because it fills up along outside there. They sit on our fence, so we need the police to remove them from the fence. And apart from that,
Okay, so we're gonna one police, or can we get a couple of them?
Well, what were they going to cruise around for?
It'll be at the front gate.
It's the front gate. They're not, they wouldn't have done anything. It's private property anyway. And we are the custodians of this. So if you see someone doing something they shouldn't, it's beholden on you to say, please calm it down.
Oh, and I did forget to tell you, the pyramid guys are supposed to install that little section of fence.
And do they know to take the towing sign off of the old piece of fence and put it on the new piece of fence?
No, they don't.
Okay. Can you tell
That's
them?
probably a Louise job. I don't know if they'll
Okay.
even do.
Yeah, I can't believe Lewis can't do that.
It just needs to work its way from the whole piece of fence. Yeah.
I don't even know if they'll take the old piece. I'll have to find out.
Is that it for July 4th?
Any other questions?
All right. Moving on.
Okay.
Thank you, John, for taking this on. All right, wind mitigation inspection. I'm not sure I really want to get into a lengthy discussion about this now. It might behoove us to have, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I left it on my printer. So as you know, the legislature passed a couple of laws, a couple of bills recently. We're in the process of trying to get the full understanding of exactly how that impacts us. Rather than my sitting here and saying, I think this and I think that, it probably just is better to wait. One thing I do want to point out is that they have set aside some money for use by condominiums. But the money is very specific about what it can be used for. And it's only up to 175,000 per association. And oh shoot, I just started the trial. Okay. So basically they are saying that you can get a wind mitigation study, which is somebody coming in and examining your building to see how well it can withstand wind. And then they will take a report back and put it on their website where your insurance company can get it. And if you have good marks on that report, your insurance company might give you a discount on your insurance. So the whole idea is that and if the report says that they knew this or knew that, they will match funds with you to help replace what you need to replace or fix what you need to fix in order to get the insurance company to give you a break. What I wanted to let people know is that we already have a wind mitigation report. It's good for 5 years, and I think ours is good for another 3.
It was December 2024.
That sounds right. Yeah. And our insurance company went, Jenny and I met with her last year. I don't know if you remember this. She told us that we had like a really good report and we had a really good discount on our hurricane wind damage insurance. So the likelihood of the best case would be that we would ask them to come in and do the free inspection, and they would say, you don't need anything, you're fine. And the worst case is they would come in and go, oh, you know what, you should replace all your windows. It's about $2 million worth of work, and we'll give you $175,000 to help. But now you have to fix your windows at $2 million so that your insurance company will give you the break that you already had that you now just lost. Do people follow that? Yeah.
So in other words, are you saying that you're really raising a red flag?
I'm
If
saying,
it's out there, that
I'm saying that we should not invite them in for the free mitigation study. Because, yeah, I'm saying that I would suggest that we not invite them in.
It can't really help us anymore. It could only possibly hurt us because we're already
At
have
the
a
next.
good study and a good rate on our insurance.
Yes. So when people start asking about all the money that the state is going to give associations, I just wanted you to know that we did look into it. We don't think it's a smart thing to do. That reason.
I think that should go out as in a mail blast. I think it's worth doing that because we've already got the report to the members.
I'm sure we could craft something that
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily put our foot in our mouth in writing.
That's the idea of writing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, do we need to, if we were gonna invite them to do the inspection, we would have to vote on it as a board. Put it on the agenda. I don't know if we should vote as a board not to invite them in or just ignore it. Okay, all right, cool.
Sorry. That's-
I'm sorry, Deb.
I'll just be real, this kind of pertains to this wind driven rain. I'm having, Pat redid his slabs, and I'm having the guy that helped him. Code on the lip is 4 inches.
Yeah,
Mine's no longer 4 inches because I had to put flooring down and it's less than 2. So he's putting in the 4 inches. It's an aluminum making code, but he makes the front of it look like some base boots.
nice.
Pat has it done. I've been in his unit. It's phenomenal.
Would it
It
be,
is costly though. I'm shocked to do all of my sliding, but then living. You know, the stationery doesn't need anything. So the cost is $2,040 to have it done, but it will be 4 inches high.
Yeah,
It would help with the water coming in. Give me a grace period to get it. If it water, if it comes in.
would it be possible?
Like, I know that I have to do it. I just- That is important. I'll give anybody asked about it. I don't know how much work it's going to take.
can you send us?
Pictures? Could you send some pictures and detail?
Yeah, it's just like that. He's pretty terrible.
Information.
He fills up, he puts them on, he fills up in. The, you know, the drill, he drills it on. One there, but now it's high.
Well, we could send that information out to all those in case there are other people.
People say the water was shooting through, you know.
It was.
I just want to say,
It's not gonna help
it's
everyone.
not guaranteed.
If you have 150-mile winds pushing,
Well, you do, that's why some people don't like it, because you have to raise the foot.
yeah,
Raise my foot up because I went through hell that night.
yeah.
And so did many of the folks helping, we shot back 6 hours and we couldn't mediate the while.
All right, well, cool.
Time.
done. The last thing is the FPAT reserve study, which actually does have something to do with this new bill because our reserve study may change, may or may not change substantially based on the bill. So Jenny, you want to talk about that?
Which part?
The proposal,
Bill.
the proposal, yeah.
So the proposal is just to update studies for this year. The cost is $4,000. That gets us 2 draft revisions, a limited on-site inspection, which they did not do last year, and as many phone calls or Zoom meetings as please. So
When we do this, because it feeds into our budget.
yes, so the reserve studies tell us how much money we have to put into the reserve each year, which we plug into our budget to make sure that we collect those funds.
I believe that's good.
Well, we do,
We
but
don't
it tells us how
have
much.
to. But it's good to get it updated each
Oh,
year.
they're updating.
I think it's the smartest way to go.
Yeah,
Because things change and we've already thought of some things that like, well, maybe that doesn't need to be on there, or actually we need to add all these air conditioners back because at some point we'll have to replace them. So I think it's a good exercise to go through, and last year it cost us $5,000 for less that they did for us, so I think this is a really good deal this year.
I have a question though. Do we need to ask them for a new proposal to address the changes in the reserves based on the bill?
So
Or
well, so we can talk about that. So I got an email, which I can forward y'all from Eric, the same synopsis that we're getting for entity about these new bills.
Yep.
I have read only the summaries, but my understanding is that this isn't going to change much for us at all.
I thought we could remove everything that was under $25,000 replacement cost.
We can, if we think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, so it raises the threshold from putting everything over $10,000 replacement value to $25,000 replacement value. I added it up, everything on the SERS that falls within that range. It's a total of about $108,000 worth of things to be replaced at various points over the next 15 years or so. So in any one given year, the impact is minimal, and I would rather reserve for all that stuff than have a door break and we're like, that's my opinion, but yes, that is one thing. It could take about 108 again, probably 10 years off of our reserve study. And we can certainly talk to him about that. I don't think we need a new proposal.
Okay.
Could you go with your beliefs in this because it's the budget?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's the smartest way to do it. And the other provision that the new bill had, that some people might
Excuse me.
get excited about, pushing off reserves for a couple of years. I think for us, I don't think it's possible for us to use that provision. I don't think it would be a good idea anyway. But it specifically says, after you get your milestone inspection, the 2 budget years following, which guess what, we did ours in 2020.
Yeah.
Budget years gone for the years that we could potentially push something off. And it is specifically for the purpose to address things in the milestone report that said you have to fix them right now, which we didn't have that stuff. So basically that, not to burst any bubbles, but any hopes about, oh, maybe we can skip reserves for a couple of years. We can't. That does not really apply to us.
I was quite pleased with what I read. Obviously, there's huge amounts, but we are actually quite ahead in a number of areas.
Awesome.
Oh, no, we're not doing awesome. We're doing well.
Compared to maybe.
Yes.
It talks about an alternative funding method and using the pooling method that we can use. We're already using that, so that's not a change for us. And I think that was really anything that could even possibly affect us.
We're also looking into other sources of funding. not going to be necessarily for some of these projects.
Yeah, I think that part was specific to if you just want to fund all your reserves,
Yeah,
but, yes.
all right.
So
Are you
that's
ready?
take on the new bill. So yes, we're back to proposing $4,000 to do this year's updated SERS and TRS stuff. Yes.
Next year, when we do our budget, can we pull all of the things that we paid for this year, to make sure that if they're repeatable, we get them into next year's budget? I'm not sure. We put this in, I'm not sure this is in this year's budget. I don't know, it might be. But it's a good thing to,
Oh, this, yeah,
yes,
this is in,
it is in the budget already?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that makes some,
actually, no, sorry, it's in the reserve report.
oh, really? All right, so we do have funds set aside. Okay, cool. All right, can I get a motion to approve the FPAT reserve study update proposal for $4,000?
I so move.
Thank you. And someone second it?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
See if there were any questions.
Oh,
Anybody have a question?
We just voted for it. Any questions? I'm sorry.
To an extent, this is about the reserve putting together a budget. We've got to do it.
All right. We all eyed. So before we end off tonight, we have a section for other owners' questions and comments. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think we pushed that off until we hear back from the attorney. We said that we weren't gonna do anything with this.
Let him give his comment because it's gonna be working on it.
We've had that happen for all hard working. So if they want, because all opinion. But you know, during the last hurricane, people were shoveling all around. They got the water, shut the elevator down. We're limited. We're kind of in place. You can't help any. And you can't really get out of the building, especially if you're over feet, walking them 8 flights of stairs. So I'm just saying. That thing to me, I like the category.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, maybe that's what we look at. I mean, that's a really smart comment. Maybe we look at that we have special actions that we take for maybe a category 4 and 5, but if it's a 1, 2, and 3, we just suck it up. Because as a board member, I just want to say this, thank you for looking to me. As a board member, my biggest concern about all this elevator stuff from the reading I've seen is that if water gets into the shaft or the electricity goes out suddenly and the cab drops down into the shaft, we could lose $1,000 worth of electrical equipment. So I dread going to a board meeting and having somebody say, why did you shut down the elevator? You saved us $100,000. Yeah. Oh my God, we did it so many times last year.
You know, we're on the same grid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying 5 times we lost electricity here.
I think what we're saying is all of us would like to keep it open if we can. It's trying to balance it. So it's going to be looked at to see what we can do. Sorry.
Maybe. Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Probably more than a couple $100,000.
I think the basis is going to be, we want to keep them open if we can, but we've got to make sure we have balanced it versus risk.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah.
And then they can be the one. Well, you guys make the decision in person. Instead of just flat stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think it just needs to be figured out. I mean, we need to have some kind of, I don't say rule in place, but some sort of procedure that we follow so that we all agree, you know, when X happens, we are gonna shut it down and then turn it back on when Y happens. And
And I think that category basis is a good one to look at.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or the storm surge. I don't know if you can have like a category 1 or 2 with big storm surge, or does if it requires a.
It's got to be very specialist. What happened last year was totally unique, but we'll know
Yeah.
in advance that we're going to get something that's going to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who? Hi.
Showers and tubs raining.
Not that I,
Now it's back.
I can say as an owner that that's happened to me, like just once in a blue moon, something happens. And you have to call the plumber and they clean it out and then it's fine for the next.
Hi, because people flush, wipes or diapers or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're all adults, I mean, common sense to tell people, you don't flush things like that down. And if it floods out and people's units get flooded, and it should happen.
But from something John said earlier, I just learned that, because our pipes are old, that some of them, tell me if I'm wrong, some of the metal sides of the pipe may be leaking out.
Then things stick.
And then, so it could be any number of things, but
It's not a slippery surface anymore.
yeah.
But that's the main pipe. And it is fairly wide. But yes, they're putting stuff down they shouldn't do. But guess what? People are not always doing the sensible thing.
Oh my God, when they came to unplug my shower drain, they found a screwdriver down. Well, it looks like an old screwdriver.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
For pull deck because. And why, what I did. But when the guys do. You make it all level it all out, and stuff, then they skim it, they texture it. And then they. And it turned out, and before they do that, they push they sealed all the cracks up. And then they skimmed it, grind it off any uneven parts, and it turned out beautifully, and it wasn't that much. So they finished it off by just painting. It's pretty. It's called top coat, but it's called cool. And it's a special paint that goes cool decks to keep it cool. But it turned.
It might be that Pat comes back with something like that. We're waiting to Phil. We don't know what he's going to come back with, but I will say one thing to think about. I bet your pool deck isn't as big as ours. So one of the dangers, if you go up to the promenade deck, which has just been done, you still get pools of water. And that's one of the problems we've got to look at, that a single surface risks having.
And level the whole. There's a lot of filling. The cool thing is, the cool deck would seal it.
Yeah.
And you'll do the cracks first, then you skim it, then you put a texture on it, so you don't sweat it. And then you seal it, and then it's done. No, it's done.
There's
a bigger tone.
Maybe this is just not based on reality, is that because we're not in the ground seawall, if we go pouring several inches of concrete, we're going to add a lot of weight to that, which is going to put pressure on the seawall.
I wouldn't think it would weigh any more than if we put pavers down there.
Yeah. There was
just fill it in. And you can fill
in
yes, it will. Cement will you will like.
Here you gotta.
State. Yeah.
The-
That's the paper. Yeah. The problem with the papers, is they were in the cracks.
Yeah, but the only thing I will say about the pavers, it allows you to go off and repair things. There's balances with everything. But there's also another surface that's used a lot in Britain because of our flood issues. You're not allowed to have driveways in certain areas that are not permeable. So they have hard surfaces that are permeable. So it's a driveway, but and yes, it looks like a driveway, but it is permeable.
So anyway, that's my comment.
Okay.
It's relatively, they can do it quickly. Relatively cheap.
John, we look.
I don't know if we have. I'm not looking at it. I mean, I
It's cheap. It comes in a variable. It washes away, we just put the
right. Let's. I don't. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, based on how the grill area looks, we could probably do with some baked grass there. But let's hope we get a proposal soon. But
yes.
Thank you.
But okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to close. Meeting adjourned,
6:13.
6:13.
Nighty-night, John.
It's taking me out to dinner. Really? It's hard.
Please, you guys want to open roofing? Can I get the keys? Turn off and be there.
Yeah, I get here at 8. Is he gonna be here early?
He's coming between 2 and 5, so if I scheduled to come down and get the keys.
Well, I'm here till.
Is she
And then I might leave.
Right. T-shirt.
Yeah.
So what time's good for you?
I'll
that I
probably
want to-
leave around. Probably leave at 4. So if he's not here by then.
I'll walk him down maybe around 2, then I'll go ahead and get it.
Saying that's on the stairs. That's the text. If you go.
Come wait for Carlton finish.